I'm Mona, a Psychology of Change consultant. I provide educational materials for leaders and their teams to work through workplace change, and I also work on various projects to introduce new ways of working, mostly in larger organizations. This video series is in response to questions that I get from senior leaders as well as from those who are new to change management. And I thought it would be super valuable for you to have insights from various change practitioners. So I've reached out to a few of my colleagues all across the globe, and each one has a really different perspective, different background and experience, and I thought it would be really valuable and enjoyable for you to listen to these different perspectives. So enjoy this video series.
Hi, my name is Carolyn Samney, and I specialize in human-centered and systemic change, which looks to honor both people and systems involved in a change process.
Hi, my name is Peter Smith. I've been a consultant in change management as a generalist with a primary focus on organizational change and learning for well over 40 years. I'm now what some might consider to be retired. However, I'm still applying my knowledge and skills through volunteer work and no longer working for income.
Hello, my name is Sonia Ayres and I am a change management lead. I have been in the change management field for 10, almost 15 years now. I've mainly operated in the technology transformation space, but more recently I have just joined a utilities firm and am working in the operational technology space for the first time.
I got into change management by starting off my career in human resource management and industrial relations. And I then progressed or transitioned into organizational development. And I've pretty much been managing change all of my working life. So anything from introducing new payroll systems, new policies, to organizational restructures, as well as supporting to design and deliver leadership sessions, educational sessions to support organizations that are about to hit transformation or major change or are currently experiencing it, to ensure things go as smoothly as possible and that new ways of working have a higher chance of adoption. I then mid-career studied postgraduate qualifications in psychology. I thought this would really help my skill set and the work that I was more interested in doing, and to really, support that psychology of change and transition within larger organizations. So I've worked on changes, a lot of people-related changes like organizational restructures, values and culture alignment, HR, learning and management system implementations, all the way through to digital transformation initiatives, digital literacy, cybersecurity, and mapping solutions as well. So those, smaller systems that help large organizations with the services that they offer to their customers or client base.
My background's in psychology, and I started my career working with families and youth, eventually moved into public health and community development. From there, was offered a role in organizational development where my passion for change was really solidified. And I really became more and more interested in the human side of how systems evolve and transform.
So how did I get into change management? Throughout my consulting career in business and risk management first, and then organizational development, professional development in the area of self-directed learning, those were the three main areas, my approach had always been to question, discover, and understand and apply the complexities that might lead to successful change. I was most interested always in change. Many of the complexities I discovered had to do with people in organizations, with the work they were doing and their value to the organization they were part of. The consulting work I was doing eventually was called change management. Once it was named, it could then become a discipline to be observed and studied and learned. So That's how I guess change management found me, really, or I morphed what I did.
Prior to being in the field of change management, I have worked on projects for most of my career. I have been in the role of project manager. I've also been a business analyst prior to becoming a change management lead. My very first project was working on a brand new payroll implementation in the health space at a time that was pretty controversial for payroll implementations. Our implementation went very, very well and gave me a really good feel for what it's like engaging stakeholders that are apprehensive about the change that's taking place, and how to give them comfort that the change that's taking place has good governance, and that we have engaged all stakeholders in and understood their level of comfort too. We had an excellent outcome on that project, and it got me started in the field of change management.
Advice I'd give or share to those who are new to change, or maybe you're solo new change practitioner, is to really understand what type of change you enjoy working on. So, there's so many types of changes. If you're a very detailed person who has capacity for a lot of complex data, and you like large systems, then maybe larger technology implementations are your thing, and that's what you excel at. Things like SAP, for example, that involves quite a lot of data, quite a lot of complex systems integrating and working together. And of course, if you're digitally savvy and enjoy that technology side of things, it's a great way to match that up with the people skills and to support people adopt those larger systems. If you're fascinated by how people embrace change and supporting them when they're at their most vulnerable, as well as aligning that to meet business objectives and outcomes, then potentially mergers or restructures, cultural and values alignment type projects are more the type of change that you're interested in. These are just two generic buckets or types of change. There could be much more, but to really pay attention to what it is you enjoy in the particular change. Maybe you enjoy the upskilling and training part, maybe you enjoy the analysis part, or like I shared earlier, maybe there are particular types of change that you're more interested in. I'd also say to always have that learners and curiosity mindset. So with change, as soon as we say we know it all, that's when we get hit with the most resistance from our stakeholders. So keeping an open mind, that real awareness to embrace and to learn from everyone around us is, I think, a really critical aspect to being an effective change manager, and to find a mentor. So if you are a solo practitioner, I've personally found it helpful to even have mentors that are outside of the organization, of course, maintaining sensitive data, but sometimes if you're a solo practitioner, there's no one else within the organization to go to. So it's helpful to bounce ideas with someone who's been there, done that, and there's no wrong answer, but it does really help to have that, especially when there's large organizations, a lot of people involved, and it's just really helpful as a solo practitioner.
A piece of advice I'd have for people starting out in this profession is that frameworks and tools are critical and important, yet how we show up is even more critical. Self-awareness, knowing your own beliefs, biases, mindsets, and paradigms is fundamental really to the work that we do. I've been deeply influenced by the work of Charlie and Edie Seashore around self as an instrument of change. It's a powerful reminder that who we are directly shapes the way we will work with a system and how we will show up as change agents.
What piece of advice would I have for people who want to get into change management, or if they're already in it, been there earlier in their careers? So for anyone who is interested in pursuing this, I would say that the more they understand about learning, the more we understand about change. And complexity of learning styles is important to understand. The aspects of self-directed learning is important to understand, neurology of learning, psychology of learning. I think the foundation for change is understanding learning. And because then we understand, we can learn about how individuals are affected. And so the more we understand about the various intelligences as well, and how individuals respond and work together or don't work together, or create silos, or how to tear down silos, and on and on and on. The better and more exciting actually the work is. So good luck with everything. Thank you.
My one piece of advice for anyone that would like to get into the field of change management is know that in the beginning you will get it wrong, and that's okay, because the best way to learn is through making errors and learning not to do them again. Learning about stakeholders and an organization is difficult, and it takes time, so be patient. And know that every organization is different. The methodology may be the same, but you have to adapt and learn about an organization and the way that it operates and the way that its leadership operates. And you will get it wrong, and that's okay. Learn, move forward. Thank you.